back to my channel, Welshman Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing my review for Transformers Rise of the Beast. So, first part of the movie I'll talk a bit about the story, the characters, the actors, etc. And then the last part of this video will go into spoilers, it is, but I will have a big spoiler thing coming up when I go into them. It is. So first of all, this movie is directed by Stephen Capel Jr. I think if you know him, you'll know he directed the second Creed movie as well. So sequels he's kind of doing and all that, because this is a sequel to Bumblebee. It is. Main actor that's come back as in all of this is Peter Cullen, who is the voice of Optimus Prime. He does come back for this. The two main actors, human actors for this movie are Anthony Romas as Noah and Dominique Fishback as Elena. And then you get a load of new actors, voice actors then for the new Autobots and the Maximals, the animal Transformers as well. So Peter Davison is probably the most well-known voice one for the Autobots. He plays Mirage. Lisa Koshy plays Archie. There is a couple of other ones as well for them. The two most notable ones for the Maximals are Ron Perlman, who does Optimus Primal, the gorilla, and Michelle Yeoh, if I butchered that name, apologies. It is, who plays Airazor. It is, so you recognise her voice straight off when you think. Not so much Ron Perlman's and that, but when I go into a bit of likes and dislikes, I will get into that. I will, and the main voice pretty much for the new Terrabots or Terracons, I think they're called. It is Unicron's servants is Peter Dinklage, who voices Scourge. John DiMaggio is a very well-known voice actor around some of the animated shows and all. Does do Stratosphere as well. But yeah, not so many more notable names really for the voice actors and that. So obviously the movie is about Unicron, the Maximals, and Unicron. The beginning of the movie is Unicron going to their planet, searching for a key that they have so he can transport from galaxy to galaxy and just eat planets. So as I've been calling him, Galactus more than anything, because he is Galactus at the end of the day. It's exactly the same thing. Makes heralds like Scourge and that. It is to do his bidding, gives them power. It's pretty much Galactus at the end of the day. But yeah, they come to that planet, the Maximals planet, to get that key. But the main prime of that planet passes it off onto Ron Perlman's Optimus Primal, and him and his other Maximals escape the planet while he holds off Scourge just to get him off planet. So they trap Unicron in that galaxy. But then we jump to Earth then and all, and we get to Noah, who is trying to do good on his family. His brother's pretty ill and all that. They can't afford the medical bills. This does take place in 1994. I forgot to mention now. We jump to 1994. So he's pretty much trying to get jobs to help out there, but he couldn't. So we'll jump back to him in a sec. And then we have Dominic Fishback, who is Elena, who is an archaeologist. I'm going to say trainee. It's not trainee. I can't remember the word now I might want to use for that. But they get like a little bird type statue, which she doesn't recognise the hieroglyphics, because they're not hieroglyphics, they predate hieroglyphics. So she gets interested in that. So we do go back to Noah there, who is trying to steal a car with his mate and all that, just to make a bit of cash. And you find out it's Mirage's character. And if you see the trailer, it's the part where he's in the car, obviously, and thing. And they all become active again, the Transformers, when Elena's character accidentally breaks the statue, and it has part of the key, the warp key, in it. So that does a beacon that only the Autobots, in a frequency only the Autobots and that can see, beaming up into the sky. So that gets the attention of Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Archie, and Mirage and stuff like that, because it's a way of trying to get back to their planet, Cybertron. But Scourge and all that come, and you get a whole battle then back and forth of Scourge trying to get Scourge trying to get the key, and the Autobots trying to get it and trying to get back to the planet. So that's pretty much the gist of the story then. And then we go over to Peru there to try and get the other key, and that's when you meet up with most of the other Maximals and stuff like that. But it does show Scourge to be a very tough villain in this movie, where he pretty much easily beats Prime when they first meet and all that. And Prime is this, in this movie, like you got it in some of the other Michael Bay Transformers movies, where he is very violent in them movies, but in this one he is very angry and stuff like that. He is, and yeah, he's just all he keeps saying to Scourge, "I am gonna kill you," and stuff like that. So we do get that. So it's pretty much, we get the big battle scene at the end, where you've seen in the trailer, where the Scourge and that actually find the key, and they try and get Unicron to come to Earth. So yeah, so that's pretty much the story. My likes and dislikes for this movie: the voice acting, as I'll go for my likes. I don't mind the story; it's very straightforward. I think with the Michael Bay movies, they get more complicated and more complicated each one goes. The last two movies, Bumblebee and this, are more straightforward, your A to B stories. Not overcomplicated. Bring some new characters in. They don't really try and delve too much into the story so much and all that to overcomplicate it. It is pretty much a straightforward thing. Most of the voice actors are good, especially the Autobot side. Peter Cullen's iconic as thing. Peter Davison is fun as Mirage, the more comedy relief of the Transformers. Bumblebee is, as usual, talks for the radio. Don't really hear much about Archie and the others. The Maximals, then we have Michelle Yeoh, which you recognise her voice straight away. I'll go a little bit into the dislikes then of the other voice actors. So you have Ron Perlman's he's pretty good in it and all that, but I expected a more unique voice for that, and that's included Peter Dinklage and Scourge and stuff like that. Kind of sounds like the rest of the Transformers and all that, the main villains from the other movies and that. Not really a distinctive voice. And when you watch the cartoon from the 80s, everyone seemed to have a distinctive voice. You could hear that voice and boom, you could pinpoint who that character was. In this one, you could put him off against other characters and all that from some of the other Transformers movies, and you won't really know different. And it's the same as not this in the voice acting and all that. They all do a great job of what they do, but it's even Unicron. Unicron was Orson Welles voiced him in his last appearance and all, and he's got an iconic voice, and it worked perfectly for that Unicron. You got was it Coleman Domingo does it for this one, and it's a generic voice in my opinion, and that they don't try and make it. I would have liked it to be more like the Unicron from the 80s movie, but a bit of hit and miss for the voice actors for this. The main characters are good. They do a very good job. They try and give Noah a bit of a backstory of a sympathetic character and stuff like that. But these type of movies, you don't really need the humans. They're just there for show. They don't need to be the main character. Transformers are pretty much the main characters of these movies. It is, but they do a good job of what they are. They're just there to bring the story, taking the story over, let's say. It is. Visuals are pretty good. Not as good as some movies, but I take it that's down to budget of these movies. I'm not too sure what the budget is for this. I'll have a quick look. According to this, about 200 million. It is, and be honest, for the most part, it is pretty good. Obviously, the end of the movie does become a bit of a CGI fest, as most of these movies do in the end. They do, but most of the thing, a few little, hit and misses in the CGI here and there, but you get that in every movie. I've heard that in The Flash when I saw a clip of The Flash, and I'm like, there's a CGI moment, and I was like, Jesus, they really put that in. It is, where they could have just cleaned it up, hopefully sorted it out, but, you know, we'll get to that when I go and watch The Flash and review that movie. But, yeah, visuals are alright. You get music's okay. You do get the classic one from the Transformers, Michael Bay movies and that for there. But, yeah, overall, it's an enjoyable movie. It's nothing special. It's a very good popcorn type of movie. So, yeah, that's kind of my likes in this. So, we'll go into my spoilers now. So, fair warning, spoiler time. Now, we're in the spoiler territory now and that. So, first spoiler is Bumblebee gets killed off in the first battle against the Terracons. He does. So, he doesn't get, like, blown or anything. Like, Scourge kind of, like, takes his spark away more than anything. Like, absorbs his spark after Scourge pretty much batters the shit into Optimus Prime, gives him an absolute kick in. So that's pretty much one of the big things. So you don't see him mainly until you get to the end. So when you meet then the Maximals, the majority of them have been living with a tribe that's been helping them for hundreds of years to hide and all that. And they hide. They go to Peru, like the Autobots, and that to find that Elena found clues of where the second half of the key is. So they go to Peru. When they go to the cave, it's not there, but Scourge and that all attack them. They have another little battle, and that's where Airazor, is it? Michelle Yeoh's character comes along to help. Well, in the first movie, and she takes him over to helps him over in Peru. Then, but that's when you meet the Maximals and Optimus Primal. There's a Rhinox and there is a Nightbird, I think. No, not Nightbird. Is that the other villain? They do have a Cheetah. I can't remember the name. Oh, Cheetor. Cheetor, his name is in this. So that's when you meet them, and then you get a whole thing. But where they live is kind of enriched with energon, but they do saying that it needs a big power to make it into the energon, the transform, and to revive Bumblebee. So we do get to the big battle at the end there, and obviously Prime and all gets his revenge on Scourge. When Unicron does make his entrance to Earth, like a bit of him into Earth, a big power surge, and that's how Bumblebee comes back to life. And then he comes back to the last thing, and that's, if you watch the trailer, you do get another sacrifice towards the end, is Mirage, and you do see in the trailer that Noah gets an armoured suit. It is, and that is Mirage. Mirage gives him parts of him to make him into the suit, and that's when he has a battle with him, and Optimus Prime men have a battle with Scourge. It is, and yeah, it's not too bad than that it is, but yeah, bit of a spoiler there. And the last spoiler I want to say for the movie, it's a kind of a mid-credit scene, not so much mid, but you know, you have a bit of the credits in the beginning, and then it's Noah going for a job interview as a security guard, and he goes into the room, and you have a character called Michael Kelly, who is Agent Burke in it. It is, and I was thinking to myself, oh, is this the agency from the Michael Bay Transformers and all that? And like, this agent knows all about what Noah just done. He said, look, your son's gonna, your brother's gonna have all the medical attention he needs, all paid for, and he gives him his card. And when he turns the card over, he opens opens a wall up, which goes into a bigger warehouse. And when he turns the card over, it has the G.I. Joe sign on it. So I thought that was a very big surprise, because I did not hear that anywhere on the internet. It is on Twitter or anything. And we have heard rumours for a long time of Transformers and G.I. Joe combining into live action. So that could be the next movie now. G.I. Joe and Transformers. And I'm all for that. I can't wait for that. But they're pretty much the main three big spoilers of that movie. It is. Like I said, I did enjoy this movie. It's nothing special. I give it a good 6 out of 10. It's an average score. It's a good popcorn movie. It is, and pretty much what these Transformers movies are. They are a bit all over the place. Like this is pretty much a reboot. These movies, to my eyes, have nothing to do with the Michael Bay ones. Michael Bay ones were their own ones, and be honest, the continuity in them movies were all over the shop with really bad writing. But these movies seem to be their own contained movies now. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more now with the Maximals. Maybe a Maximal movie on its own. It is now, seems they're established, but yeah, it's got to be a Transformers G.I. Joe movie next, and yeah, I can't wait for that one. If you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought of the Transformers. If you like the Transformers series thing, personally for me, I still think the 80s animated movie is the best movie they've put out. It is, but I do enjoy some of the Transformers movies. Some are worse than others, obviously. But yeah, tell me what you think of the Transformers, if you like this movie, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye.